Hi there. My name is D.A. Ledger, and I'm the author of Some Magic Nuggets, a newsletter that helps Salesforce professionals up-level their careers and make more money. Today, I'm going to walk you through a proven email script that Salesforce professionals have used to help them negotiate anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, $30,000, and even $100,000 in extra compensation. If you'd like to see more videos on how to make the most out of your Salesforce career, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Let's dive in. Imagine you've just knocked out your interviews for that new Salesforce position that you've had your eyes on. The interview panel wants to move forward with extending you an offer, so the recruiter finds time to talk over the phone and walks you through your offer. The recruiter starts by saying, "We're excited to offer you X in base salary, a Y percentage yearly bonus, and a Z stock over the next 4 years. What do you think?" This is what you say. "First of all, thank you so much for extending an offer. This is the job that I want. Let me discuss this with my family and get back to you in a few days. But before I do, I have 2 questions for you. What are the job requirements for this position versus the one above it?" Now, I'm going to jump out of the script for a second and say this. If the job requirement does line up with your offer, then go ahead and proceed with the negotiation. So the email script that I'm going to talk about later on. But if not, if you have a reason to believe that you're actually being mistitled and you should actually be at the next level above it, then you're going to protest the title of the offer, which I'm going to cover in another video. But for the sake of argument, assume that the response to this question is assume that the offer that you get lines up with the title that you're actually supposed to be leveled at. Then the second question is, what's the salary range for this position and the one above it? So if they do provide you with the range, then your strategy is going to be that you want to negotiate for the upper band, and you're going to use this information in your email script that I'm going to talk about later. If they don't provide you a salary range for the position, then you can kind of safely assume that the recruiter possibly has a 10 to 15% increase in your initial offer to wiggle with. That's kind of the wiggle room. So those are the questions you ask, and that's what you say. And I know the recruiter's not going to like to hear this, but it helps us retreat to a place to analyze the offer in a more relaxed state of mind before we use the initial offer response script to respond to the offer. So a few days pass, and then I say this over email. "Thank you so much for your help throughout this interview process. I've enjoyed the experience and conversations I've had with you and others on the team. Being part of the company is very exciting, especially since it's in line with my career goals and interests. I've given the offer a lot of thought, and I want to share what I'm thinking as I'm making my decision. While I appreciate the initial offer, it's lower than my expectations. I'm looking to increase my total compensation, and I hope that these data points can help." Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the data points later, but I'm going to go ahead and continue with the script. I want to highlight again that I've truly enjoyed my entire interview process with the company. However, the initial offer is lower than my current compensation. My preference would be to increase the proposed base salary and sign-on and increase the equity. Now, this sentence that I just said, I'm going to jump out of the script for a second. The sentence that my preference would be to increase the proposed base salary / sign-on and increase the equity. I said three things there: base salary, sign-on, increase the equity. Depending on the company's dynamics, they may or may not be able to give you a sign-on, or they may or may not be able to give you an increase in equity because they may not even offer the equity in the first place. If they offer all 3, go for all 3. If they offer only 1 or 2, then go for those 2. Now, back to the script. Since I intend to stay at the company for a long period of time, I'm requesting a higher, in this case, base salary to remain competitive over the years, since I don't know the timeline for a potential promotion. And here's an additional phrase that you can use, jumping out of the script again. You can say, as well as an increased equity for a larger stake in the company. The equity part is only going to come into play when they can provide you additional equity. Now, back into the script. This is a big decision for me, so I appreciate your patience and understanding. I'm really excited about the opportunity, but I would like to see a compensation increase based on the data points that I mentioned earlier. I look forward to hearing back from you soon. End of email, send it. That's the script. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the data points that you can use to help bolster your case for a better compensation increase. So, if any of these apply to you, then you've got to use them in the script. So, the first data point that you can use, you're actually making more than the initial offer. You're actually making more at your current job than what the initial offer extended to you was in the first place. So you can say something like this. Your first bullet point can be this. The discussed base salary / total compensation is actually lower than my current figures. That's what you can say. Next bullet point you can say is if you're actually going to be promoted soon. So if you're going to be promoted soon, it's worthwhile to share that with the recruiter because it's actually going to help bolster your case. You can say something like this. My management has shared that they intend to promote me by end of the month, the end of the quarter, end of the half, something. Then you say, the salary range for this position is within X and Y range, and presumably that's going to be a higher range than the initial offer that was provided to you. So it's more of an incentive to get the recruiter to get you a higher increased total compensation number. The next data point you can use is if you're leaving anything behind. So if you're leaving anything behind, like a retention bonus that the company's offered to get you to stay until the end of the year, or if you have restricted stock units or stock options, put a monetary value on that and let the recruiter know that you're going to be leaving this much money on the table if you jump ship to the company that's giving you the offer. And so this is going to be some good data, some good ammo that you can effectively use to help get you an increased offer. But I think the strongest data point that you can use is if you have competing offers. If you have competing offers, that will likely be the largest lever that the recruiting team needs to hear to help get you what you want. So I stress why it's important to get competing offers. Yeah, like I mentioned, it's the strongest data point you could offer to the recruiter. And it signals, I think importantly also, it signals that you're in high demand. Imagine if you get like 3 other competing offers, then it's just going to be a nice uphill, an upward pressure on the total compensation that you can get. Now, if you're optimizing for money, then of course, you would jump to the company that gives you the most amount of money. But I think even if you're not optimizing for money, it's going to give you probably significantly more money in your pocket than you would had you not had competing offers. So you could say something like this. I received another initial offer that has a very competitive base salary, annual cash bonus, and a very competitive equity grant if they offer it. I've shared the same figures with them. So we're currently in the process of increasing the offer and negotiating a higher base salary and equity grant, as well as a cash sign-on bonus. Whoa, here's another company that's going to potentially give me more money. And I'm telling the company that gave me the offer about this. I'm excited to join the company that gave me the offer, but I have to be honest and say that I'm trying to just make sure that I get compensated fairly for the value that I provide, and I will continue to provide at the company that I join. So I think that's like the strongest data point that you can use. Now, I think it's also important to note why you should use the script. So it's important to talk about why this script is something you should use, because the first point is it shows excitement. So it's important to show that you're excited about the offer, because the recruitment team might actually go the extra mile in talking to the compensation team to get you to join. So they might go to bat for you. They might put their neck on the line for you to get you to join because you're actually excited about joining. If you compare yourself with like all things equal with another candidate and like they don't really care about the job offer, they're going to go with you. They're going to try and stick their neck out for you more than the other person. The other reason you should use this script is you're clearly communicating that the offer falls short. So sometimes candidates can actually be pretty ambiguous when they don't like an offer because, they don't want to seem rude or ungrateful or inconsiderate or anything like that. But I think it's actually better for you to be upfront and respectful about the offer falling short of your expectations via this script, because it's going to fare better for you in the long term than if you don't do that. So it's better to be clear than to be ambiguous and be like, maybe this is good. No, it's better to be clear and upfront. The third reason you should use the script is because you're actually providing facts. You have a factual basis for why you should be given more money. So it's like cold, hard facts. You have other offers. You're perfectly fine with staying in your current position. You don't really like the offer. you've done research and you found that, you should actually be paid more money because they're lowballing you on the first offer. You have the data points to back up why you should be paid more. And this script is like a framework for effectively vocalizing that through the medium of your choice: email, phone, Zoom, etc. Two more things. One, it shows that you're flexible. So you might have a total compensation number in mind, and you're actually okay with how the company will meet you at that number. So depending on the company, there are a few different levers that you can pull to get you towards your desired compensation range. So some companies, salary is more negotiable than others. In other companies, you might be more privy to negotiate for equity, or maybe you might just get a sign-on bonus. But anyway, you're flexible at achieving or arriving at the total compensation number that makes sense for you. And then lastly, this one's kind of a subtle point, but I think it's worthwhile to call out, but it hints that you intend to stay at the company for a while. So in order for you to commit to the next few years of your life working there, the offer's got to be compelling enough. And you signaling to the recruiter that you intend to stay there for a while is this kind of subconscious, it's this subconscious signal to the recruiter that this person's not going to leave in 2 months. And not to say that you can't do that if it's not a good fit for you, but I think you're not thinking about that. You're not thinking about leaving in 2 months. You're assuming that it's going to be a good position and that you're going to try and work it out. So I think it's a good reason. It's a good reason to use a script because of that implicit kind of subconscious signaling. Now, I think to end this topic of discussion, I think there's a question of if this script has ever worked before. And I think to answer that question, the answer is yes. I've seen this script increase Salesforce admins and developers' compensation by $5,000 and $10,000 respectively. And as Salesforce and admins progress in their career, that actually increases, this script actually helps increase the amount of money that senior and lead devs and admins can actually make when they're negotiating their salaries or their offers. So I've seen lead devs and admins make $20,000 plus in additional compensation. And it's interesting is at startups where equity will potentially skyrocket in value, I've seen Salesforce developers use this script that ends up yielding them actually more than $100,000 in total compensation, which is an awesome thing to see. So that is to say that this script has worked before, and I have good reason to believe that this will work for you. And I just wanted to go ahead and share that with the wider audience of Salesforce professionals who want to make the most out of their career, who want to make more money, and who want to have a fruitful Salesforce career. So I think that kind of ties a knot on this whole topic about the email script that you can use to negotiate your salary and get you paid more money. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so it lets me know that I can make more content like this in the future. I'll probably make more topics on negotiation and salary and other things related to this topic. So if you enjoyed it, please again give a like and subscribe, and thank you so much for listening.